Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Code Realize Future Blessings in Finis's route. So, yay. Anyway, a few days pass. During that time, neither Twilight nor Finis made any particularly big moves. The Twilight headquarters became eerily silent, and by the look of things, time passed with little ado. But surely Finis isn't just sitting around twiddling his thumbs. The silence before the storm, as the saying goes. I'm sure that the plan to revive Father is progressing behind the scenes. As proof of that, I was made to participate in Nemo's experiments almost every day. Oh! Oh my god. To generate megajoules of energy with such a small amount! Horologium truly is spectacular! Oh god, Nemo. I just want to start changing his voice like right in the middle and just be like, no, we're done. Oh my god. A godlike existence that will revolutionize the world's energy affairs. I could do without your commentary. All aside, can we use her to activate the device? Undoubtedly. Certainly. Naturally. The plan is progressing so smoothly it's almost scary. You're scary. That's one example of many. We don't need to see the rest of them, please. God. Over the past few days, they've been gauging the strength of the poison, logging the state of the horologium, and the like. I've talked with Nemo, Finis, and Alistair here and there during that time, but there's one thing that I can be sure of. Beginning with Finis, all of Twilight views me as little but a tool. I'm all but sure of that much. Spacey, I mutter my own name. Unlike at St. Germain's mansion, nobody here in Twilight headquarters will call me by my name. No one will treat me as a human, a vessel for the horologium, a homunculus, a tool for Father. My sense of self gradually erodes as I begin to internalize this treatment. I am Spacey. I mutter to myself again so that I don't forget it. Even if this is just the name of the original's copy, more than anything, I wanted someone to call me by my name. To call me Spacey! To say that I'm not a thing nor a monster. Aw, that's what we all want. We just want someone to not think of us as a monster. Anyway. What's this? Perhaps it's because I've been in such a deep thought as I walked, but I stopped my feet, finding myself in a pathway that I don't recognize. And then I can hear someone's voice. A small, distant voice that I wouldn't have heard if not for the dead silence. Drawn to this voice, I continue forward as I follow the sound. I can only wonder how far I've walked. As I arrive at the room in the deepest section, I behold the scene before me. What immediately draws my eye is the colossal. Hold on. No, I was like in the middle of speaking. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze!" And then the second I mute, and no, I didn't sneeze. Damn it! It's like I have to sneeze, but I can't. What immediately draws my eyes is a colossal armillary sphere enshrined in the center of the room. It looks as though every one of its gears moves independently of the other. But many gears are interlocked with each other, creating regularity as a whole. It's an enormous map of the night sky, replicating the complex movements of the stars. Oh, that's interesting. And its base, the figure of a boy who looks up at the sphere. Really? I can't see that. Where do you see that? Oh, at its base. Oh. I was like looking at the base, like, I don't see a boy in the base. Because the actual Finis is what she was going for. I see what they did there. Okay. It just took me a minute. Just a little longer, Father. Sister has finally joined us. Look at how precious he looks. He looks so innocent. Like, oh, such a sweet little Finis. No, devious bastard. Now you can finally revive. You will become the god that controls the world. Finis continues to gaze up at the sphere, not noticing my presence. The sight almost has an ethereal quality, like that of a boy admiring the stars that he'll never be able to reach. Aw. Father, I'm being useful to you, right? I've listened to you closely, and I've managed to progress the plan this far. Everything will surely go fine, and I'll not let anyone interfere. So, Father, once this is all over, will you... No, he's not going to love you, Finis. Why do you never answer, Father? Because I'm a doll? A monster? But that's odd. You said you love Sister! A doll and a monster just like me! A grievous, wavering voice. So why? Why only me? Answer me, Father! He sounded like he was angry, perhaps even crying. It was a voice of bottomless sadness. Ah, that's right. You can't answer yet, even if you wanted to. A little longer, Father. I'm close. So close. I couldn't bear to listen. I turned on my heels without making a sound. At first, I considered calling out to him, but I couldn't do it. My little brother, who stares up at the sphere as he talks to it, as though he's convinced it's father. He bore a miserable visage different from any he's shown me before. I had no words to console him. My shadow reflected faintly on the floor of the dim hallway. Even while returning to my own room, the way Finis looked was imprinted in my mind. How he talked to our formless father, looking up at the sphere as if to pray for salvation. He looked like a child who had lost the one person he depended on. Finis. Even now, I could still see it in my mind's eye. Lupin's smiling face telling me not to worry. Impey's jolly face yelling out, I love you. Van Helsing's face saying it could be worse from the edge of his lips. Look at that grin, though. Victor's face that tells me, don't worry, it'll be fine, as he squints his eyes. I miss our boys so much. God, I miss them. It's like they're dead or something. St. Germain's face, smiling and telling me that it's all right for me to be here. But did Finis have people in his life like them? Of course not. To tell him that they love him? That he's human? How sad it must have been for him if he had nobody like that. Pardon me. Huh? A Twilight soldier was standing there when I opened my eyes. Might I have a moment of your time? My body stiffened. Perhaps because they're trained as an intelligence agency, soldiers of Twilight seldom speak. Is it one of our boys? At the very least, for one to talk to me on their own was definitely a first. Do you have business with me? There's no need to brace yourself like that. As your master, I'm quite pleased that you're putting into practice my lesson of handling everything with suspicion. What? That voice! It's Lupin, isn't it? He puts his hand over his mask and cape and swings his arms as if to tear them away. Oh! Yay! Can we go back? Wait, can we go back and read this in Lupin's voice? Let's go back and read it in Lupin's voice. Actually, you know what? That would be... We wouldn't act... This is where he would talk. There's no need to brace yourself like that. As your master, I'm quite pleased that you're putting into practice my lesson of handling everything with suspicion. What? That voice! I knew when he was like, pardon me, I was like, it's one of our boys. Should have guessed Lupin. I think deep down in my heart I assumed Lupin, but you never know. You never know. He puts it. Okay, so we read that already. It's been a while, Spacey. Lupin! Shh! I'm delighted that you're glad to see me, but I'd rather not be found out, so do keep it down. I put my hand over my mouth hastily. After changing his costume in an instant like a magic trick, it's fucking Lupin. Oh, God, Lupin, your face is so pretty. Lupin studies our surroundings carefully. Lupin, how did you find me? No matter how far you may be, I shall never lose sight of she whose radiance rivals that of the moon in the night sky. Which is what I'd like to say, but it's actually thanks to this note. What's this? It's Isaac's memorandum. Immediately after you disappeared, I had a hunch and went to the mansion in Wales, and that's where I found this note. There's no time for me to read it out loud leisurely, so allow me to give you a brief summary. Contained are the full details of Isaac's plan that he's aiming to achieve. His plan to resurrect after dying, discarding his flesh body, becoming a machine deity, and waging war on God. A plan dubbed Code Realize. I feel like I'm giving him way more Saint Germain than I mean to, and I can't help it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry. A cold tingling sensation ran through my brain upon hearing those words. I know it. I've heard those words before. On the bed. Or perhaps in that glass tube filled with solution. Father's Book of Genesis. Code Realize. That name is the exact same one as the Twilight terrorist plot that I'm after. If it's not just a coincidence, then is Finnis planning an act of terrorism? One can only wonder. Even having read this, the only thing I can be sure of is that you're the key to it. In any event, I have to imagine that nothing good will come of it. Lupin reaches his hand out to me. I have half a mind to say a word or two about your disappearing act, but we can talk about that later. I've already secured an escape route. Shall we get going? I stare at his hand. Lupin's large, gentle hand. The precious hand that led me to the outside world. Nah, I'm good. Oh, God, Spacey. If I take his hand, he'll probably steal me away no matter how far. He'd deliver me from the suffering and sadness, track down Finnis's plan, put a stop to Father's revival. I know I read that way too fast, sorry. And then he'd guide me to a future where many will be happy. Of that I have no doubt. But in that future, one child won't be happy. My little brother who clings to Father all alone. I'm sorry, Lupin. I can't go with you yet. I beg your pardon. One moment. Just what do you mean to say? You mean that it'll be too difficult to return after leaving us so suddenly? If you're worried about everyone being angry, then fear not. They were more worried than anything. No, that's not it. I have unfinished business here. That boy who looked like he was holding back tears as he laughed, I can't just leave him be. Lupin's like, are you fucking kidding me? What happened? If there's anyone who looks like they're about to burst into tears, it's you. After studying my face intently, Lupin scratches his head and lets out a long sigh. He takes a small device from his breast pocket and tosses it toward me. Is this Impey's Aether transmitter? Correct. On top of that, it's his newest work, an upgraded miniaturized version. No matter what happens, do contact us periodically with this. Huh? If it were entirely up to my emotions, I'd be vehemently opposed to this, but there's a great merit in having an insider. Then you'll... I can't possibly say no to such a determined face. However, if your life is more important than your determination, if you're in danger, I'm stealing you away. Understood? Right. Thanks, Lupin. And sorry that I'm always such a nuisance. Silly. No need to apologize if it's a path you've chosen yourself. I'm counting on you, Spacey. My most precious, finest apprentice. Our boys all love us. They're like, it's okay. We'll be there for you. I mean, we're your man harem. You own us. Yes. He grinned, wearing the Twilight Soldier costume once again, and ran off, waving his hand. Really? I really have to wonder how that man always seems to know exactly the right words to say to me. It's fucking Lupin. Spacey. Clinging tightly to that name, I see him off. Wishing for a time when I could tell my brother about this warm feeling. I miss you so much, Lupin. I miss you already, you're just here. Spacey, you have no idea how happy I am to hear your voice. Me and the boys have been stumbling around in the dark here without our son. Right, I'm sorry. Impey's metaphors aside, try not to forget to contact us now and then. You're inside the enemy's headquarters. Try not to get in over your head. You can trust the man named Alistair. If something were to happen, you can rely on him. Oh, Van Helsing. You're adorable and naive. No, you can't. No, you can't. Aw. Thanks, Victor. Van Helsing. I'll make sure to contact you regularly. Oh, right. I don't hear his voice. Is Saint Germain there today? The Count? He has been away from the mansion almost every day recently. He comes back now and then, but as of late, there hasn't been much sign of him. Woof! I see. It would have been nicer to hear his voice, too. All right, I'm gonna cut the signal. I'll talk with you all again soon. Phew. After finishing the call with my friends, I carefully tuck the transmitter into an inner pocket to ensure I don't melt it. A few days have passed since Lupin sneaked into the cathedral. During that time, I've been contacting Lupin and the others daily, without exception. The first time the call connected, they were upset and worried about my sudden disappearance. Now that I'm able to contact them, though, it feels more like I'm delivering survival reports. As for my daily life, I'm just forced to tag along with Nemo's experiments daily. Frankly, my reports are usually that there's not much to report. No matter what I'm going to do, I have to talk to Finis first. Although doing so will most certainly be the most difficult part of it all. I can already see his unwilling face in my mind if I try talking with him. That's why I've decided to ask Alistair, the only one I can seem to talk to help find a time when I can talk to Finis. Just when I made up my mind. Good morning! Did you sleep well? A booming voice echoes grandly throughout the room, assaulting my ears. Jumping in without even knocking was none other than the world's nosiest scientist himself. Nosiest or noisiest? I didn't catch. I read nosiest, but it should be noisiest, I'm sure. I'm sure I read that wrong. Yes, and thanks to your barging in, I doubt I'll need coffee. Ho ho! Wide awake, are you? Of course, of course! My world-renowned voice inspires inspiration. It inspires my eardrums to cry out in pain, at least. Anyway, what do you need? Is it time to analyze the horologium again? As much as I would love to accept your invitation, today's agenda involves a different matter. Now, follow along. It's tea time. Excuse me? The fuck? The amber-colored liquid wavers gently in the white porcelain teacup. The tea stand atop the table contains sandwiches filled with jam and a pile of scones. The elegant phonograph fills the room with its music. Phonograph! Early forms of gramophones capable of recording and playing back sounds by etching the waves of vibrations onto cylindrical wax. Twilight HQ, the intelligence agency of those who single-handedly undertake the dark deeds of the British government. At a glance, it appeared that a very elegant tea room was prepared in an underground section of the cathedral. Elegant indeed, and front and center sits Finis, a sour look on his face. Alistair sits beside him, with Nemo and his big grin on the opposite side. Come now, drink your tea while it's hot. You may relax knowing that it's probably not poison today. Probably? Tea is served poison from time to time to keep Twilight members on their toes. What? Alistair, don't run your mouth. I'd prefer if you spared us an incident from your straight-faced lies. Ha ha ha! Lying is no good. You should live an honest life like yours truly. Honest to yourself and no one else, maybe. At your very existence. Your very existence is a pile of lies. Or perhaps jokes? Watching the vaguely tense conversation in the corner of my eye, I put the teacup to my lips as I quell my nervousness. I could tell that the tea Alistair made for us was likely a high-quality one. But due to the situation, I could barely savor the taste at all. How do you like the tea? It was cultivated in, Ceylon? Ceylon to the east. It's yet to be refined, but it still has a complex flavor. It's quite good, I think. It comes in close second after Impey's tea. Oh, my friend and rival who sprints across the sky is familiar with tea as well. Not just tea, Impey is great at cooking in general. He even managed to get compliments out of Lupin and Saint Germain. And they're all like, oh yeah, or like, we don't know these dudes. We know them, we know their names, that's it. We don't know their personalities. A man of many talents, though he does not look it. Perhaps Van Helsing can pick up on his culinary abilities. It's only natural that he'd be good at cooking. Cooking is, after all, just another form of mixing. That might be a stretch. Though I can still envision Impey, red in the face and pitching a fit. However, Impey Barbicane is still so naive. Take me, who's already reached a realm a step beyond his. Meaning? Feast your eyes on this. The perfect nutritional blend that I've invented. By drinking this, you'll be able to work without sleep or rest for 3 days and 3 nights. It's a dream medicine. That reminds me, after testing it on a soldier, he was teetering between life and death 3 days later. Speaking of poison, I shake my head lightly, and then Phineas, who sat across from me, pours several spoonfuls of sugar into his teacup, seemingly in a bad mood. So, Alistair, what is the meaning of this meeting? I wouldn't want to sit down for a friendly tea time with my sister if we were the last people on Earth. Don't say such things, Phineas. Besides, don't you enjoy sweets? Besides, this tea party was her proposal. Sister? Wait! I never proposed any such thing! But weren't you the one who said you wanted an opportunity to speak with Phineas? I did say that, but I never thought it would be like this, though. Even when I toss Alistair a spiteful look, he sips his tea as if it's not his problem. Noted. In that case, may I be excused? I have nothing to discuss with sister and vice versa, I presume. After all, you're just prattling on about Impey's cooking this and Lupin did that. Nothing more than a bunch of trifling things. Phineas, are you perhaps jealous that you can't understand her stories about her friends? Huh? Does that mean you're being sulky? Huh? Get your head out of the clouds. I'm just appalled by the way they managed to corrupt you beyond my reckoning in the short time you were with them. Listen, sister, you needn't concern yourself with such frivolities. All you need is father. I stare back quietly at Phineas. It almost sounds like he's trying to convince me. No matter the cost. Yes, no matter the cost. A family besides father. I can't even think about my little brother. Look at that face. He's like, Ma? Don't be ridiculous. How many times have I told you? We're simply dolls based on father's children. I call you sister for convenience. Dolls talking to one another of sibling relationships is akin to playing house. Should you be in such a foul mood if you insist on calling yourself a doll? You seem to be contradicting yourself. Silence, Alistair! Slamming the teacup on the table with the remaining drops hovered in the air with his force. Every meeting with Phineas came with a tense atmosphere where the slightest disturbance could mean incurring his wrath. Inside the train during the hijack, at the underground facility where that terrible truth slept, I felt a hatred and madness from him in those encounters that sent a chill down my spine. But he's not the same now as he was then. For a moment, he looks like a child who matches his age. But he's technically our age. So if we're like, say she's like 16, 17, he's like 16, 17. Because they were twins, right? I mean, unless the father made the Phineas doll younger, but I don't know. And everything else in Lupin's path suggested they were twins, so. What are you laughing at? You're giving me the creeps. Sorry. My mind was wandering. I was just thinking, we're siblings, but your body doesn't contain poison. That's only natural. That poison is a special privilege for you, the one who's adjusted to the horologium. Special privilege. Right, a special privilege, thanks to which you get to be loved by father. What is that if not a special privilege? The smile that was never meant for me, but for you. A smile that was never meant for me. His teeth make a grinding sound. My poison is a special privilege. I've been through so much because of this cursed body. But before those words can leave my mouth, Nemo casually butts in. I want to talk to Phineas without you assholes. Get out of here. Phineas! Are you going about the plan for the sole purpose of Professor Isaac's love? Yes, as if you even need to ask. I see. Well then, your path and Professor's will surely diverge someday. What do you mean? What do I mean? It's simple. The path that Professor Isaac walks is a superior, sublime path of science. But you're simply pursuing the Professor's silhouette without even looking ahead at the path he treads. And by the time you catch up to him, Professor will have already gone ahead. Shortly thereafter, your paths will begin to diverge. To put it bluntly, Professor won't take any notice of you at all. Shut the hell up! What do you know? My path is Father's path. Father's path is my path. There's no way it would diverge. Why so angry? I'm simply putting forth my opinion. Phineas, calm down. I quickly stop Phineas as he makes a fist. His face is already twisted to the extent that I'm afraid he'll shoot to kill. In my attempt to change the subject, I say what immediately pops into my head. That's right. There was something I've been meaning to ask you for a while. My body has this poison. Is there anything different about yours? I have poison and you have immortality? Van Helsing once said that he shot through your head, and I saw Saint Germain stab you, but you're still alive. Why? My sister is a deadly, poisonous monster. So strange for the brother to be an immortal monster? Is it so strange, sir? He turns his back as if to signal the end of the tea party. Since the preparations are almost complete, fine, I'll show you. It won't matter soon anyway, so I might as well tell you while I still can. Can you just imagine you get up in the morning and you put that whole getup on, like that Phineas is wearing, right? You put that whole fucking getup on, and then you go about your day, and then you go to bed and you take it off, and then you fall asleep and you wake up and you're like, oh, half your day is probably spent putting on the clothes that they wear in this. Like, there's just so much shit going on. Like, hold on, I'll be... Like, you complain about people now. What takes you an hour to get ready? Do you see the amount of fucking shit? Do you see the accoutrements I'm putting on here? Do you see this shit? You're lucky it only took me an hour. But that's just because I slept in my clothes. So, I mean, because I can't get out of them. It takes too long. And then this guides me to the deepest part of St. Paul's Cathedral. I don't know why that just randomly popped in my head, but all of them. Just, except for Impey, who just looks like he's perpetually in a state of half-dressed. The place where he spoke his sad words to a father that could not be seen. It was that room. Enshrined in the center of the room, just as before, is the colossal glowing armillary sphere. Around it are countless gears that overlap again and again, drawing a geometric pattern. What is this? What is this machine? That's no way to greet the main body of both Father and I. Phineas, main body. A large celestial globe-shaped machine located in St. Paul's Cathedral's underground. All of Phineas's knowledge and memories are shared through this main body. Main body? Correct. It's also the secret to my immortality. I suppose I could explain in greater detail, but it would be better for you to see for yourself. Two Phineases. I hear a voice behind me and whip around reflexively. There, I see Phineas crackling a subtle smile. Phineas, how did you get behind? Jeez, you're so dense. Haven't you figured it out yet? Looking at the new voice, I see another Phineas approaching. That must have fucking killed your mom, having like quintuplets up here. Well, that's sextuplets. Septuplets, because we're the 7th, right? I mean, good lord, I'm just octuplet, who knows? It's no illusion. From behind the sphere, from the corner of the room, the shadow of the pillar, the outside hall. I mean, she just gave birth to a litter. It's creepy. Many appear one after another, and they're all Phineas. I know. that she didn't actually birth all these children, but Jesus. Oh, God, too many finuses. That hurts. That hurts my brain. Before I even realize it, my entire line of sight is filled with countless copies of Finis. What is this? Which one's the real one? Which one? Perhaps you don't understand, but all of these are real. We are all biological terminals named Finis, created by Father's hand. Biological terminal. The organic doll that Isaac created has an imitation of his deceased son, because the main body that possesses the accumulation of his insight and memories resides elsewhere. Oops. Each doll can be referred to as a terminal. The memories of every one of us experience are propagated to every me by this sphere. Indeed, each of us here are Finis and share the same memories. When we met in the train, the encounter at the laboratory, the massacre in Wales, the moment during our tea party, those memories belong to all of us? That's what they mean to tell me. Even the Finis whom I was drinking tea with only a bit ago, once he mixes in, there's no way for me to tell the difference any longer. What is this? She's like, yeah, no, you're right. You're monsters. Peace out. No, but help! Yeah, I'm gonna need you to come rescue me and kill all the Finises. I'm done with this shit. So spectacular that you can hardly utter a sound, It is all thanks to Father's wisdom. I touched on it a moment ago, but it's not just my spirit, but Father's as well that rests in the sphere. In the event that your horologium sublimates as the key to his revival, Father will meet his rebirth. Indeed, he will dwell inside my body that will act as a vessel, and he will become a god who will live forevermore, and then you'll die and he'll never love you. I mean, seriously, like, you just... Poor kid. Isn't it splendid? Our Father will be an eternal existence. To be involved with such a wonderful achievement, surely you're happy as well. Surely you're happy as well. The harsh resonance of a cacophony of laughter fills the room. A fearsome scene that laughs in the face of God. I couldn't stand it anymore and shouted as I straightened my voice. Creating this many Finises! Creating me with a body of deadly poison! What does Father plan to do once he's revived? As I shouted, breathing roughly, the Finises quietly tell me. Man, once no different from beasts, was given fire, and thence left the framework of animals, beginning civilization. Science soon developed, and with it, man began to obtain more and better tools. From wood tools to stone tools to ironware, from rocks to bows, from bows to guns. The history of man runs parallel with the development of weapons. The history of man runs parallel with death and destruction. And so, Father made a decision. A gifted brain and a mechanical body that can't decay. A heart that beats eternally, becoming God incarnate. To engulf the world in endless war and advance science perpetually. Endless war? That's not right. Father wasn't satisfied with just us, so he means to use everyone on Earth as a doll, as pawns in his war. That's horrible. Be quiet, sister. I tire of your naive thinking. It's a bit early yet, but I'll silence you. Finis held out a pendant with a large, glistening gem before me. I feel a cold sweat run down my back as I gaze into its scarlet brilliance that seems to serve a purpose opposite of my gem. My instinct gives me a clear signal. This is dangerous. This pendant contains a property to modify the horologium that you possess. The horologium that matured inside of you will soon be reborn as the alchemist's ultimate goal, the philosopher's stone. The deadly poison that will spread upon its creation will be so massive, it'll likely turn London into a city of death. But that's a trivial matter. By obtaining the infinite energy of the completed philosopher's stone, Father will recreate this world anew. Now, let Code Realize begin! Or, end, technically. can feel it. Ah! Ah! Something inside me beats. Ah! Something hot like magma begins to flow through my veins. Something entirely inhuman gradually encroaches on my body, and a sound rings out as it begins to recreate me. I begin to squirm violently, fearing that I'm losing myself. No! No! Sorry. Why the face, sister? You should be more happy. Father's wish will finally be fulfilled. We'll finally be loved. So endure it, even if it hurts a little. Phineas's hand repeatedly strokes my hair. It's as if to say that even he who hates me so much could forgive me now. My vision gets blurry and color starts to fade from my world. I wonder if this is how I'll die. Just as the thought runs through my paralyzed mind. Yes, sister. Just a little more. Just a little. Without any warning, as if suddenly cut off, the cacophonous laughter stops abruptly. And then they begin to fall in place, one after another, like marionettes that had their strings cut. What? Even the pain in my chest, my agony, they too are gone like they were never there. Phineas? I pick myself up and shake my brother, who stopped moving right beside me. Looking around once more, none of the others seemed to be moving. They were just a collection of Phineas rag dolls, lying with limp limbs splayed out heedlessly like corpses. Chop off all their heads. What could have possibly happened? Then I noticed a dim blue light emanating from the edge of my peripheral vision. What? Little more than a whimper came out, but I couldn't help it. Right now, before me, my one and only little brother moved. But he's not. He's Isaac, and was looking toward me, painted in a pale light. It was a long, long rest. I immediately realized, no. The face that slowly looked up, the voice that quietly spoke were the same, but I could tell instinctively, this person isn't Phineas. That's why we're going to give him a different voice. Well, in that case, are you Father? Aww. It's kind of cute. Spacey, my dear daughter, right now, I see you through this empty vessel. I'm talking with you. How I've longed for this day to exchange words with you like this. Father's hand caresses my cheek. He doesn't seem to mind at all, even as the hideous sound of his skin burning resounds. Father, your hand. It's hardly a problem. This body can be burned off and replaced infinitely. It's far, far more important for me to be able to touch my dear daughter like this. My sweet, gentle father's words. But I just can't justify being happy. The things that he trampled all over in order to show his love toward me. His indifference toward Phineas. Now that I know what lurks behind his words, I truly wish to speak with you more. No matter how many of these bodies rot and fall apart, I want to embrace you. But not yet. Not yet. Now is not the time. Now is yet the time. Good Lord, Spacey, learn to read. You're still incomplete as a philosopher's stone. My awakening is only temporary. Father, whom I've longed for. His words of affection that I've longed for. But for some reason, all I have to offer in return is my sadness and anger. I slap Father's hand away and take a step back. Father, why? And then I speak the words that I wanted him to hear the most. So, okay, we're going. So that is the normal path. This goes down the good path. So, like we said, because I feel like I have to reiterate, even for myself, to make sure that I'm on the right track here. We're doing all the good stuff. Okay, so we'll come back. We'll do why did you put this poison inside of me when we're going down the normal path? So, why Why did you create so many Phineases? He really is no different from a doll like that. Both Phineas and me, we're alive! What is there to misunderstand? Phineas already told you everything. The only one I love is my daughter. Your own thoughts are nothing more than noise. A clear rejection, denying me of my very self. This man probably has no intentions of acknowledging me in the slightest. His words were colder than ice, as though the gentle voice from before was a lie. And the doll called Phineas is the same in face only. I doubt I'll ever love him again. What? A sudden anger welled up in me. I know I read that. Like, what? Do you have any idea how much Phineas? But Father Isaac seemed to be ignoring my words. Then he let out a sigh and muttered, it would seem I'm out of time. Until we meet again, my dear daughter, I shall continue to wait here until the time you deliver Genesis unto humanity. Wait! I'm not done! His smile softens. He smiles softly at the Spacey who is not me, and, just as before, he crumples to the floor. I hurry over to help him up, and he slowly opens his eyes. Phineas? I can tell. Father took control of me, didn't he? If his awakening has progressed this much, then it won't be long now. Father will awaken completely before long. How? How can you be so calm about this? Didn't you hear anything Father said? That man doesn't care about us. Did Father say something? What? I suppose I didn't tell you. While Father's consciousness manifests, my own superfluous consciousness is suppressed. So even if I know that Father was here, I have no idea what he said. Or what was said. What did you hear from Father? I'm so jealous. I wanted to hear too. A chill goes down my spine. No, you didn't. He hates us. Does that mean if Father revives completely, what will happen to you? To me? Well, obviously, I'll most likely disappear completely, body and mind, because I'll be one with Father. The same with you as well. Upon the Philosopher's Stone completion, you too will become one with Father and disappear. She's like, I don't like that. Why? Why do you take life for granted? I stare at my own hands. I recall the dear person whom this body's poison killed. If you die, then love, kindness, warmth, you won't feel any of those. I grab Phineas's arms firmly as if to urge him. I can't share my sisterly warmth with him with my poisonous flesh. But even so, perhaps I can at least share a little warmth through my gloves. Stop it! But Phineas displays an emotion of disgust and shoves me away. If you're trying to slow down the plan by messing with my head, then think again. No, It doesn't matter what you say. The final act has already begun. You will gradually become the Philosopher's Stone, and then everything will end. What words would even reach him now? No matter how much I strain my mind, nothing comes to me.
Pray excuse my intrusion during this climactic moment, but it seems we have an unexpected guest.
Alistair quietly shows himself. A guest? Could it be Lupin and the others?
Unfortunately not. It's someone whom I've never met before, but he seems to be formidable.
Very well. Let us intercept him. I won't allow anyone to interfere with the plan. Perhaps because his consciousness is amassed as one, the many Phineases begin to disperse even without orders. Is it Saint Germain? You would think he would know Saint Germain, though. I'll have one of me accompany you, so return to your room and stay put. Though I'm sure you'll be able to move even if you wanted to. I'm not sure you'll be able to move even if you wanted to. Once the effect of the modification begins. Wait! Before Phineas leaves, I take a handkerchief from my pocket with trembling hands and slowly hold it out to him. Phineas, your hand. At least use this in place of a bandage.
Your consideration is commendable, but I would not recommend putting cloth directly on a burn. It will be a different matter if you mean to make it worse than it is.
Sorry. I don't need any treatment. Besides, there's so many of me. I can simply exchange one if there's an inconvenience. While I hang my head, I look at Finis's right hand, his hand that had been hideously burned while touching my cheek, creating a painful-looking mark. Why are you the one who looks like they're in pain when it's me who's injured? You really need to cut those habits out. With an irritated look on his face, he snatches the handkerchief from my hand and turns away. But he took it. I'll take this for now. It's more for your sake than anything, but at least this way I won't have to see that annoying face that you're making anymore. Let's go, Alistair. Finis then begins to walk away, his hand, injured from my poison, dangling at his side. Desire. My bouncy ball is like so losing air that it's like squeaking like a motherfucker. Meanwhile, at the French nobleman Count Saint Germain's mansion, located in the forested area of London, inside a room that mansion that had become the hideout of Lupin's crew, inside a room of that mansion that had become the hideout of Lupin's crew, Van Helsing, Victor Impey, and Delacroix II organize the information that they've collected thus far. Isaac Beckford's ultimate objective, dubbed Code Realize. A plan to advance the evolution of science and humankind by means of eternal war, huh? That's completely devoid of reason. Right, Isaac is correct in that there is a side to war that stimulates the advance of science, but at the same time, war spawns sadness and hatred that far outbalances that. War without end would be a living hell. The documents spread across the table contain detailed information about the matters they've been investigating. Isaac's own revival, eternal life, administration of humanity, never-ending war. His ambitions are completely absurd. It all sounds like something out of a storybook. But no matter how impossible it seemed, not a single person in this room would laugh off his plan. Because the man known as Isaac Beckford had enough power to turn his grandiose fantasies into reality. So, the key to this plan seems to be none other than that girl. But has anyone been able to talk with her? It's past the time she's supposed to contact us. About that, I've been trying for a while now, but I'm not getting a response from the transmitter at all. It's hard to believe that she, of all people, would forget. Maybe she's in a situation where she simply can't. That, or our bumbling engineer's transmitter wet up in a cloud of smoke. Hey now! No need to be rude. It's not like it's for you. There's absolutely no way anything like that would happen. Anyway, I'm probably just reading into things too much, but it might be safer to assume that something's happened. We should prepare so that we're ready to take action at a moment's notice, and wait for Lupin and the Count to return. Lupin aside, St. G.G.'s been out for a while. He said he had some business to take care of. We talked for a while, and just as they were rising from their seats, one of the subjects of the discussion peeks his head in from the door. I'm going to guess Lupin, because St. Germain is getting stabby at Twilight headquarters right now. So, is everyone here? I know this is the last thing anyone wants to hear, but I bring some bad news. Oh, Lupin, speak of the devil. Everyone's here but the Count. What happened? Did Twilight finally make their move? In a sense, yes. Perhaps it'd be more accurate to say that they were forced to make their move. Unusual for Lupin, he's evasive with his words as he adjusts his hat. Then, his hat tilted down so that it covers his eyes, he tells everyone in a grave tone. Everyone brace yourselves. Twilight's headquarters, St. Paul's Cathedral, is under attack. By St. Germain and the Apostles. St. Paul's Cathedral, one of London's largest religious structures, with a gigantic dome that rises to the heavens. Its entrance forbidden due to the accident during the reconstruction of London, the public is only allowed to see its exterior. But in this situation, that's the last of their concerns. About an hour passes after Lupin's report. His crew had broken into the cathedral, ignoring the do not enter warnings. What welcomed them was dead bodies. A sea of blood, the corpses of Twilight's soldiers fallen as if to be stacked atop each other. What is this hellish spectacle? Every single soldier, it seems, met his end with a single blow. The assailant must have been quite skilled. And it would seem our skilled assailant is paying us a visit as well. Saint Germain shows up. Hey! And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa! What is that thing? And I'm pretty sure it belongs in an entirely different era. The clanks of heavy armor resound as the figure approaches from deep inside the cathedral. She is the Ideas apostle known as Guinevere, though they have no way of knowing this. With armor reminiscent of a knight's from the Middle Ages, she stops before them and thrusts her colossal sword to the floor. Gentleman thief Arsène Lupin and his party, what business have you here? Ha! What other business could a thief possibly have? A precious treasure lay deep within this cathedral, and I'm here to steal it back. Judging from your appearance, you don't seem to be a member of Twilight, so if you'd mind letting us through. The key to Code Realize, the cursed siblings, Spacey and Finis. If that's what you seek, I'm afraid I cannot let you pass, because those two will be disposed of here. All right, I see now. I don't know who you're supposed to be, but you became our enemy the moment you said those words. Van Helsing's gun emits a loud blast. The second Lupin's cape cuts off the enemy's line of sight. Hit directly by the rock salt shot, the knight recoils slightly. Without so much as a hint of concern, she slashes at the surroundings with her colossal sword. And kills whatever. No, I'm just kidding. And slices them all down. Well, no. Cutting a pillar with a sword. I'm warning you for your own good. Withdraw. You seek to stop Isaac's plan, right? Then we have a common goal. I'm not sure who told you our objective, but you seem to be aware. It's true that our goal is to thwart Twilight's impending terror plot, meaning to stop Isaac. But we're not about to sacrifice her. If you have a problem with that, you'll have to take it up with us. Like, we're gonna save our princess, goddammit. Saint Germain's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let her die either. The graceful cathedral, a sacred place of tranquility, rocks violently with every resounding rumble. Apparently it's under attack, but I can only wonder what's happening to this place that is St. Paul's Cathedral. I desperately try to walk, my hands guiding myself along the walls. Ugh. Are you in pain, sister? Well, I suppose that's only natural. You're being reconstructed while you still live, after all. It's just as Finis says. Even now a searing heat flows through me, tormenting pain threatening to tear my whole body asunder. Compared to the start, even this agony feels like it's beginning to settle. I can still manage to suppress it. Then, as I catch my breath, Finis, who walks beside me, suddenly looks up at the ceiling and opens his mouth. It would seem that I encountered the interloper. The information is flowing to me now. Who could possibly be attacking? Lupin and the others? The Yard? The government? A greater nuisance than any of them. I had expected them to show up sooner or later, but to come to thwart us now. Finis's words and steps halt. Finis, is something wrong? Who's there? Show yourself. Saint Germain. It's been a while, Miss Spacey. What? Saint Germain? I'm glad to see that you are well, though I only wish we were meeting under better circumstances. It's just really hard to believe that Saint Germain is such a rapey bastard and diabolic lovers. It's not even funny. Like, I'm watching the anime because we can't play the game till I can read Japanese, but like, his character is one of my favorite, but he is such a like. There was something about voice, but I'm like, the voice sounds familiar, but I honestly wasn't expecting it to be Saint Germain. But yeah, wow, because he's so delicate and nice in this one, and that one he's just so. I mean, they're all rapey bastards in that one. They just really are, but he's almost one of the worst. You're like, You're like, wow, you're such a. I love it. I don't know why. Oh my god, it's great. Oh, Saint Germain. Anyway. It's just funny because you see Saint Germain and you're like, he's such the perfect gentleman who's like always happy, but like, well, okay, he's happy by getting stabby, so I guess it's not that far of a leap of logic that he turns into a, fang rapey vampire. Like, I guess. Saint Germain slowly approaches us. I heave a sigh of relief seeing his appearance I've so dearly missed, and my heart feels at ease. Saint Germain, why are you here? Did you come to rescue me? I did not. I came not to rescue you, but to grant your salvation. Saint Germain wears his usual faint smile. Oh my god, he is going to kill us. Oh. Even in the midst of this raid on Twilight headquarters, a smile no different from when he's relaxing, enjoying a cup of tea at the mansion. The fact alone was terrifying, and I made a step back as if to retreat, like, yay, Saint Germain's gonna rescue us. No, I'm gonna kill you. It's too bad. I do love you. And then, wait for it, wait, right? Because then in the third game, we go off with Finis to get to know him, and the boys show up and are like, I can't live without you, run away with me. And then Saint Germain's gonna be like, I'm really sorry, I tried to kill you. You redeemed yourself in the first game. I'm not really sure how that's going to work in this one now that, who am I kidding? Of course we're going to accept you. We love you even if you're trying to stab us. No matter how many times you try to stab us. Anyway. I'm going to guess chapter 4 has no choices because I literally just looked at the guide for a second and it goes 1, 2, 3, 5. There's maybe no choices in chapter 4, or there really isn't a chapter 4 and the person who made the guide does not account. I don't know. Sister, move aside. The bullet that invites death narrowly misses my arm and strikes Saint Germain's chest. Watching him fall, accompanied by a fountain of blood, I let out a scream that I can't contain. Saint Germain! Finis! You stay quiet, sister. Don't move, idea's apostle. Good grief. Doesn't one normally give a warning before firing a gun? Perhaps I'd have given a warning if it would have made any difference. That was for killing me back at the research facility. Consider it a greeting. I see. It would seem that the stories are true. You really are immortal. Look who's talking. Are you not the same? Saint Germain, shot only moments ago, stands back up as if nothing had happened. Idea's apostle. Saint Germain had called himself those words before. The enemy of father that should be feared, spoken by Finis time and again. Saint Germain, who are you? I was truly praying that this day would never come, but it seems that, in the end, fate is something beyond one's control. I am Saint Germain, Idea's apostle, one who steers the vessel of history. And now he's like David Bowie, the Goblin King. I've come to put a stop to Isaac's history-warping plot, and to bring unto your cursed lives salvation. The silver blade that stretched out from his arm reflected in the light, emitting a violent glare. The young man with whom I've spent my days was now directing a bloodlust towards me. Unfortunately, I can't let you kill sister. She's an irreplaceable part of the plan. You'll have to get through us. Yay! Army of Finishes! I never thought I'd be rooting for an army of Finishes against it. I don't want them to kill Saint Germain, just like stop him from killing us is all I'm saying. The Finis clones appear one after another. Eyeing the army of clones that could easily number in the dozens, Saint Germain narrows his eyes and prepares his blade once more. I see. Precisely as Omnibus had said, this truly is a blasphemous display. I would even feign to say that you're an even more pitiable existence than we who are shackled by the chains of time. Sister, he's our enemy, as plain as day. Hurry and get out of here while we hold him at bay. As Finis shouts, I stay here. Okay. The one who was previously my friend, who had become an enemy after my life, and my little brother, clearly my enemy, who's now defending me with his life. I'm not sure if I can consider either of them friend or foe. As I stand in place, filled with hesitation, Saint Germain makes a swift slash with his deadly blade. Gah! Pierced by the blade of the merciless apostle, Finis, whom I'd been beside all this time, turns into a lifeless corpse. He becomes a literal meat shield, blood spilling from his mouth and his eyes open wide. You fool! Sister! Hurry and run! Save one of the Finises. But... I can't just leave you behind. You'd better not be thinking something silly like that, sister. You have no idea for such human-like thoughts. You have no need for such human-like thoughts. We're little more than dolls, meat shields, parts. We're more than that. Even if we were created, you're still my... Shut up! If you really consider me your brother, then hurry up and run. The longer you stall, the more I will be killed. My back is shoved by another Finnis, and I begin to run as I drag myself along. But the fact that we stood up for him warms the cockles of his cold dead heart. The Finnesses that are trying to protect me will be locked in place unless I retreat. This is my best and only option. Still, the pain in my chest doesn't cease. Is this right? I repeatedly ask myself the question with no answer as I leave the scene. Dun dun dun! Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this part up here. Because she's running away now, so anyway. We'll see if there's 4 or 5 chapters. I'm not really sure. I'm assuming maybe there's nothing in chapter 4 to choose. I don't know. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.